What do you make of it, everybody? Eric Solobox on the shop today. It's Saturday. I should actually probably be cutting up metal, but instead I'm messing around with the Tupperware Tank again. I really wanted to get the wheel bearings finished up and get that wheel back onto the bike. Man, they fought me just tooth and nail. So anyway, this is the puller that I bought, which turned out to be completely useless. How this works is you stick one of these, the appropriate sized one, down into the blind hole, and then it expands and it's supposed to grab the back of the bearing here, and then it's like a slide hammer. You bang it and pull it up and out. The problem that I was running into at the bike was that in between the two bearings there's a spacer, and the spacer rides on this inner part, on the inner race, and there was no way to get this in between the two. There's just no room there, and so every time I would expand this and start banging on it, it would just slip back out. I was using MAP gas to heat everything up on the rim to try to get things to expand, and literally neither bearing would budge at all. I was actually starting to think about the idea of welding something straight to the bearing itself, maybe on the inside of the race, so that I could get something in there that couldn't come out and bang it out that way. And then I started messing around down in this drawer. That's just a junk drawer down there. Tried to look for a bolt or something that might be a solution. I was getting pretty frustrated. I'd actually been trying for a few hours to get those bearings to budge. And that's when I came across, let's see where to go. I think it's still over here. I came across something that worked as a solution. So this is for hand protectors for a dirt bike, the little wraparound things that go around your handlebars. And this was in the junk drawer, and it's nicely knurled, and it expands when you tighten this down. So basically what I did was stuck this through the bearing, expanded it out. These are really grippy. Expanded it out, and then from the other side, I just took a punch, and it was really easy to drive the first one out. Once the first one is out, you can actually run a punch back through the other direction and go around the outside of the rim and knock the other one out. So this saved my ass. This didn't do anything for me. The lips on these are really small. Just, I guess I'm gonna keep this, but I was thinking about maybe I should just send it back. It came from Amazon. It's like 35 bucks. It's $70 for one over at Harbor Freight, which really surprised me. A kit that was real similar. I'll probably just keep it. You know, it might be handy at some point, but basically at this point, it was just a waste of money. So anyway, the Tupperware Tank is moving right along. The front wheel is back on there. The bearings are fixed. Look at the new, nice, clear windscreen. Tell me that doesn't look better. And also I fixed what was formerly the floppy mirror, now has the hardware reversed. So all of that stuff is back together. Although it is gonna have to come back apart. I still don't have the new speedometer cable. It's on the way from Amazon also. So this is gonna have to come back apart in order to put that back on there and get the speedo working right. But this bike's moving right along. And I'd really like to jump in and get the charging issue dealt with, get that new alternator on there. So won't be much longer, and this bike will be rideable. I also worked on the new one yesterday a little bit. You can see I've got things torn down. Really what I wanted to do yesterday was get this to where I just wanted to establish whether or not this bike would run again. I had no idea what had been done here, why it was parked. It's funny because when I first turned the key on, I hooked the battery up, turned the key on, and was turning the motor over, it really sounded like the drivetrain was only running on one side of the motor, which kind of had me freaked out for a minute. Couldn't get it to do anything. Eventually I was like, well, I better tear the top of it off, and I'll spray some some ether straight down into the carb. And sure enough, as soon as I did that, it up and ran. What I discovered yesterday basically is that the fuel pump to this bike needs to be replaced. I'm not getting any fuel from the pump up into the carbs. I am definitely, at first I thought it was an electrical issue, but I am getting power to the pump. It's just not doing anything. So I've got it on the bench over there. I'll show that to you really quick here in a minute. One thing that is really kind of surprising is that This bike, it hasn't been on the road for 10 years, and yet it was still holding 29 pounds of pressure. You always have to wonder whether or not the air shocks are still going to be holding air. They've been holding 29 pounds of pressure for a number of years now. So I know that that part works. I know the engine runs. It's in pretty good shape. The tires aren't actually as bad as what I thought they were. I had to pull this bag off yesterday. This bike has a thing that senses whether or not the bike gets knocked over. If the bike is on its side, the fuel pump will not run. And so I thought for a minute that it might be this. I found an article online that told me how to do some jumpers to eliminate it. Basically, it's got like a pendulum in it. And if the bike falls over, it cuts the power to the fuel pump, and it won't run. So thought maybe that might be it for a minute, but it turns out nope, that's working just exactly as it should. So I had this bag off so that I could mess with that. Let's go take a look at the fuel pump really quick. I'll show you what's going on there. So it looks like this is over $200 for a little fuel pump from Honda. I found some articles online where guys are replacing them with automotive ones, which is, I'm thinking, probably what I'm going to do. When I hook this up to power, it's not spinning at all. So I think I can get a small automotive one to replace this for probably like 80 bucks or something, and hopefully get it to run. Maybe I ought to just throw the money down and do it correctly. I don't know. I would really like to make sure that the bike is going to be a runner before spending $200+ on a little tiny electric motor, that's for sure. But I think that might be the only thing from really getting it up and going. Not sure if the jets and stuff are going to be clogged. I took all of the old gas out of it yesterday and replaced it with a couple of gallons of fresh, and I bought some fuel additive, like cleaner type of stuff, hoping that if some of the jets or something inside the carbs are fouled up, maybe that would help to clean them out. More than likely, I'm going to have to go through this and deal with it. I'll probably have to pull it off, but like I said, I've done it before, so getting to those carbs is kind of a pain in the ass. And taking them off, but it is a job I've done, and so rebuilding them won't be too big of a deal. But I think once I do the fuel pump and that, like, I think I'm gonna have a runner on my hands. Looks like maybe I could use a new windscreen on this one too, after seeing how this brand new one looks over here. I may decide to, although I think I'm gonna like this. My old one, it didn't have a vent in it, my 88, and really, it needs it. That was one thing I didn't like about the bike. It almost blocked too much of the wind. Being able to let some through is going to be nice. So anyhow, I'm going to get back to work. I should be over there cutting up metal for, I've got people waiting on panniers, so I'm going to get back at it. Eric Solbox, ride safe everybody. Talk to you later.